That did more for my oily, acne-prone skin in just a few weeks than all 6 years of doctoring. I was also preparing to get married in about 4 months. In my follow-up appointment with my consultant, did you catch that? In my follow-up appointment with my consultant, those are really important, you should really do those, I shared how great it would be to help other young people not grow up the same way that I did, with little self-confidence and little self-esteem, just because of imperfect skin. Madonna asked me, "Kim, have you ever considered doing what I do?" And I said, "Oh, no way, I could never, no, I'm way too shy." And she said, "Kim, do you always want to be that way?" And I thought, lady, if you only knew how painful that was, you would have never asked that question. Well, obviously I bought the starter kit. When going through the new consultant orientation program and attending weekly success meetings, I was all in. I had heard that Mary Kay said, "The banana that separates itself from the bunch gets skinned." Well, I didn't want to get skinned by not taking part in the beginning education process. I wanted to be prepared when the opportunity presented itself for me to help those other young people with skin challenges. Well, guess what? I fell in love with the wonderful world of Mary Kay. Everywhere I looked, there were positive, enthusiastic, and faith-filled, successful people. I fell in love with Mary Kay Ash and her story. I wanted to be a part of her vision to enrich others' lives. And I wanted to be a contributor in her successful company. Now, I had no idea how I was going to make that happen, since I was mostly too afraid to ask and offer my products and services to others. I remember putting my sticker in my car window and just driving around looking for women who were trying to flag me down because they needed Mary Kay. Yeah, that didn't happen much. Fast forward about 8 months, I took Mark, my husband, to his first major Mary Kay function. On the drive home, he said, "Kim, did you know that you could make money with Mary Kay?" And I said, "Yes." And he's very wise, and he said, "Well, Kim, we're newlyweds and we really need your income. And so you either need to work this business that you claim to love so much, you need to go back to school and figure out what it is that you want to be when you grow up, or you need to go get a real job." Now he says, "I never said it that way," but that is totally how I received it. Well, I thought about those choices, and it didn't take long to know where I wanted to be. There was only one option for me. God put me in Mary Kay for a reason, and it was up to me to get myself out of the way. It was time to stop thinking about Mary Kay, which usually only produced more fear, and you know fear is false evidence appearing real, right? And it was time to start acting. Only in acting do we build the skill, which builds the confidence, which grows our vision to do more and be more than what we ever thought we could. 1 year after that ultimatum from Mark, I took delivery of my very first career car. I averaged 10 to 12 hours a week in the field, including a weekly sales meeting where I usually took guests to do makeovers beforehand. Mary Kay called that working smart and not hard. One face at a time, I built something that took on a life of its own. It doesn't matter if you have 4 hours or 40 hours a week. Be all in with the number of hours that you do have. Stop waiting to know everything or for everything to be perfect before doing something. So many people never really get started or don't stay the course because they don't feel that they can be perfect. Well, perfection is elusive. How about thinking this thought? Be perfect in action, not perfect in inaction. Today, I'm still motivated most by helping others in my space, but my purpose is so much bigger and broader now. I have such a desire to help others grow spiritually, personally, and financially, just as so many mentors on this journey have done to impact my life. Mark and I have 4 children and 1 amazing grandson. Those kids are very grounded, confident, goal-setting individuals, due in large part to my Mary Kay training. You know, you can't give something to someone that you do not possess, and I certainly was not a confident, goal-setting individual before Mary Kay. Thank God for Mary Kay and her vision to help women build more than just a business. Truly, if I had to give back all I've received over the course of my Mary Kay career, and it's been a lot. But I was allowed to keep just one thing. I keep me and the person that I've grown into over the years. I really shudder to think how differently our children might have grown up. They may have learned confidence and goal setting and a strong sense of who they are from someone else, but it would not have been from me. Incidentally, both of our daughters are part of Mary Kay, and I can't help but know Mary Kay Ash is smiling down from heaven to see the generations of lives that her dream has affected. Our oldest daughter, Laura Sherman, couldn't wait to be an independent consultant. In fact, she insisted on purchasing her starter kit when she turned 18. Her first sale was to her high school principal for administrative gifts. Laura went on to weave her business in and out of college life. She graduated with an elementary education degree in 3.5 years, but knew toward the end that she really didn't want to pursue a teaching career. Oh, she saw it through to the end and completed student teaching, but then put her Mary Kay business in high gear and became a sales director. She wanted the same freedom, flexibility, and income stability that she saw growing up in a Mary Kay household. Laura is driving her second career car and is loving being a work-from-home mommy. Our daughter, Madeline Messmer, always knew that she'd be a part of Mary Kay someday. Someday. She just never thought it would be during college, like Laura and myself. So right before Thanksgiving, her freshman year in college, I received a phone call from her. She was so excited, and she was talking a mile a minute. And it sounded something like this. Mom, you'll never guess where I was tonight. I was at a Mary Kay party. You should have seen my face on the other end of the phone, but I played it cool. She said my friends were going down to Greenwood and asked if I wanted to go along. Mom, it was so cool. I learned so much. I mean, I've never been to one of those before. And Mom, guess what? My friend signed up to be a consultant that night. Mom, I realized that there really isn't a good time to get started, so when I'm home for Thanksgiving, sign me up. I was still stuck on, I've never been to one of those before. So, thank you, Deanna Manning, for introducing my daughter to a Mary Kay party and recruiting her for me. Madeline will graduate from college next month with a degree in business with an emphasis on entrepreneurship. She has had a blast enlightening her professor regarding the amazing business model of Mary Kay. To say he has been beyond impressed would be an understatement. Madeline and her team will finish earning her first career card this month, and she also began DIQ. She gets married July 1 and will start her married life as an independent sales director. You know, there really is no magic to success in Mary Kay. Continuing to take the next step and then the next step is where you do find the magic. Mary Kay Ash always said, remember that all of your goals and all of your desires are of no value unless you put them into action. So keep it simple. What is the next most important thing to act on? Watch what you give voice to. I used to say, I don't care if I ever make a dime in Mary Kay. I just want to hang out with these positive, enthusiastic people forever. Well, I was bringing both of these into reality by speaking them often, and Mark, being the spoiler that he is, made it clear to me that I most certainly did need to make a dime and then some. He's not a spoiler, really, he's smart. We all have stories that we've been told, or that we have told ourselves, that keep us from reaching our dreams and what God has called us to do and become. I believe God put me in Mary Kay for many great reasons, but to be a leader is one that I questioned for a really long time. Every time I took one of those personality or temperament tests, my dominant or extroverted traits were by far the lowest on the chart. I bought into the story that dominant and extroverted meant leader. I believed that if Mary Kay were to find out how low my leader score was, that they would surely take away my director suit. Gratefully, I had a conversation with Mr. Kirby Kirkpatrick about 15 years ago, and he set me straight. He asked me to research the last 5 presidents of the United States and noticed that not one of them led with that type of a personality. What a weight that was off my shoulders. I'm a leader. I just lead with different style. My gifts and my talents are different than what I believed a leader's gifts and talents look like, but they are great nonetheless, and they do work. The yardstick with which I was measuring myself always had me falling short, all because of the false story I had bought into. What stories are you allowing to tell yourself to repeat over and over? You too are called to grow in your leadership skills. You may be called to grow so that you can be a great role model for your children and your grandchildren. It may be so that you can have the confidence to teach your customers to look and feel their very best. It may be so that you can lead your own unit and even your national area one day. What stories have you bought into that keep you from realizing your God-given gifts? It's time to kick those excuses and lies far away. Our own Mary Kay Ash is our ultimate role model. She was proof of what one woman could do when she put her heart and soul into something bigger than herself. Let us be that role model from here on out for everyone watching. Let's be the spark that starts some fires this year by choosing to be all in as we take a very active role in helping Mary Kay Cosmetics rank as the #1 best-selling brand in the land. 3 of my favorite mentors that have spent the most time in my head via CDs, classes, workshops, seminars, etc. are Mary Kay Ash, Miss Linda Tupin, and National Sales Director Emeritus Rena Tarbett. Rena would close every workshop with this poem to remind us of what we had before us in our Mary Kay Starter Kit. And it's a poem that just has been in front of me for a long time, and especially lately, and it's called The Magic Carpet. You have a magic carpet that will take you anywhere, to Spain or Maine or Africa, if you'll just tell it where. So will you let it take you where you've never been before, or will you buy some drapes to match and use it on the floor? Have a great conference. Thank you.